right, everybody. Welcome back to MAPOP Sports. This is Grandy. If this is your first time here, welcome everybody. Today, I'm gonna jump into what I wanted to quickly just talk to you guys really quickly about. But before we do that, I want to show you guys, dude. This was a super cool lot I picked up a couple weeks ago. It was a lot of, like, I don't know how many thousands of cards. It was quite a bit. And I got it for a really, really good deal for, I think, maybe like $200-300. So it was a really good deal because there was some old vintage cards here and there, but there's some few new ones, but some base, just a lot of random stuff. But I definitely want to show you guys what was in it. I actually sent away a Kobe Bryant rookie card to get graded already. So there was a Kobe Bryant rookie card that was in that lot. I got it graded, so we'll see what we get with that, and I'll show you guys when that comes back. But just quick one here. I'll just show you guys. Dude, this is cool. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's Hideo Nomo rookie card. That was super cool. As you guys know, I'm a Bears fan, so I got this Brian Urlacher rookie card. That's another cool one I picked up. And Devin Hester rookie card. Can't go wrong with those. Couple, and then I got like a Jerry Rice one here too. So it was super cool lot. Just wanted to share with you guys on that. I'll probably get those graded because a few of those will definitely be in my PC. So, but that kind of actually jumps into a little bit what I wanted to talk to you about what I've seen as, you know, my store is growing, as my inventory is growing. What am I looking to get? What do I see people buying more of or interest of on the eBay store, and also just in person too at the shows, what I've noticed. So there's been a huge hoopla of modern sports card versus vintage sports cards. So that's kind of been going on. If you see all the content creators, I'm not trying to jump on the wagon, but I'm just trying to tell you guys what I've seen. So this is FYI, this is from my experience, from my eBay store, and what I've seen, what I feel, and what I think the general populace, at least in my customer base, what they're looking into. So if you go look at my eBay store, a lot of my listings you have seen are more modern than vintage, anything old. So I would say it's a good 80 to 75% modern compared to 25 to 30% vintage. Just kind of let you guys know what I've seen is that I've seen a consistent basis for vintage, not a huge influx of purchases, but I've seen it's always consistent, day in, day out. I've seen vintage, and when I say vintage, I'm talking about anything in the 80s, even old, I would say early 90s, but beyond that, I would say is kind of older vintage, and I would say I've seen a consistent basis of purchases on that. I don't see a huge increase. Obviously, as my inventory grows, I've seen more and more people buy that, but it's just consistent. That's the one thing I've noticed. Even at the shows that I go to, I see a consistent interest in vintage. A lot of it are older gentlemen and ladies like myself. The younger generations are not as into the vintage because that's not their generation. What the hell do you expect? Except for the big names, obviously. But other than that, I would say it's consistent. So I am actually working on to uptake my listings for vintage because I feel like if it can stay consistent, whether, like I said, through the pandemic, before the pandemic, and after pandemic, it's been consistent. I haven't seen a huge drop or anything in regards to vintage or like GOATs or Hall of Famers, things like that. So I guess you can put those two together. So I haven't seen a decrease ever since, after the pandemic, and everybody's, seeing a huge interest of purchases of modern or cards in general. I'm telling you guys, the vintage and older stuff, I haven't seen a decrease in that. So that's what I've seen, at least from my store and in person at the shows. Modern, anything from, I would say probably 90s on up till today. And I would say I've seen, you can see from my listings, I have quite a bit of that. Not anything super high end, but the thing is with that is very fluid too. There's going to be days when I see a huge, order base of nothing but modern, and it's a lot of them, right? But then I'm going to see certain days where, I'm like, nobody's really ordering anything modern. It's crazy. So it's up and down. I feel like with the moderns, prices obviously. See, this is the thing. I think I've seen some people who mentioned or said that it's the death or the end of modern sports card. I don't believe that. I believe there's a huge production of modern sports card. That's for darn sure, and you don't blame them. That's part of business. When the demand is high, you have to make sure the supply is high. It's simple as that. It's just business. So I understand what Panini, Topps, Upper Deck, I understand what those guys are doing. They're going to produce the mass as much as they can, obviously, to reach the demand and make the most amount of money they can. What I have noticed, though, with the modern is that prices, when people are saying it's the death of modern, I believe the prices has just calmed down to what they should be, and quickly. So it's one of those things where as soon as a product is released, it's in hot demand. So that's when the demand is high. So supply is low because it just got released. So the prices are higher. Give it another couple months as more and more of that supply has increased. More and more people are opening boxes, more breakers, all that stuff. The supply all of a sudden goes up, the demand slowly shifts down, and that's why the pricing, as you guys see, will go down. And it's that's just the nature of the business, the nature of the beast. I still see a need for all those inserts and parallels. I know everybody's like, it's a billion of them. People like them. It's cool, man. Everybody likes to look at the shiny stuff. I'm not. To me, I too much, obviously, that's just not what I collect. It's not the super colorful, shiny stuff. I just like the unique looking cards and the players I like. That's it. That's my PC. That's how I PC stuff. It's just the players I like, and it just looks cool. Nothing in regards to extravagant type of things. That's just not me. But like I said, the modern stuff, I noticed that you need it, especially if you're a storefront, whether in person, brick and mortar, or online, or just do shows only, or whatever the case may be. You need modern cards because of liquidity. When a certain player or certain like the NFL has been really skyrocketed, I feel like in the past several years, it's past couple decades, I would say. And I would say you need it for liquidity. And it's just it's easier to move, obviously, with this generation. It's just what's going on with social media, with everything that's going on. You can see what's the hot player, what's the hot card, I guess you can say. So vintage, when it comes to that, it's going to lag a little bit because there's no forefront in regards to the media talking about, old players. The media is talking about what's going on today, what's going on new. So that's why I feel like it justifies putting, more emphasis on the modern sports card. So that's always going to be the case, I feel like. As long as sports is part of our life and sports is part of everybody's, whether it's their hobby or just their interest, modern sports cards will always have that interest. Now, as certain players slowly fade out and, become not as great, or are not living up to their standards, you see the prices plummet. Even the prices that are plummeting, people are still going to buy them, but they're just going to buy them at a lower cost. So that's what I definitely see. That's why I say, so my goal is, just so you guys are aware, is I want to get at 50-50, possibly even get into the vintage. If I can get the vintage around, to actually be ahead of my modern sports card, that might be my niche or my goal, because of the consistency of the sales of the vintage or the older cards. So, and plus, this is the thing though, some of the older cards, if you guys are following me, I don't go for the super crazy high end stuff. I go for the stuff that people, who will purchase, that are low or mid for me. So my thoughts are, and this is what my goals, I'm just letting you guys know, is that they're cheaper. The lots are cheaper. And the funny thing is, it's kind of like gold when you find specific cards. Like I said, it's like some of these cards that I found in these lots that you can get for pretty, for a good price. And I feel like it's like sifting for gold, I guess you can say. So you kind of go through all these lots, you go look for them as you're sourcing. And some of these older ones, you know, I'm telling you, the vintage stuff, people still purchase on a regular basis. So I think it's worth my time to kind of flip my inventory. I wouldn't say completely, I'm just slowly doing it. So I'm still going to keep the modern stuff, but slowly, as you know, as I keep sourcing more and more older stuff or vintage stuff, I'm hoping my inventory will increase in regards to the older players, to the Hall of Famers, to the GOATs. That's where I want to focus more on in regards to my listings, and hopefully that will help me keep the consistent purchase and the consistent revenue keep flowing. I'll never go away from modern. I think that's still fun. It still keeps me young, keeps the energy going, because it's new players, new, what's that word, expectation of these players that you know, that you want to see, because it's just exciting in that sense. But there you guys go. I think none is, so the final answer, I guess you could say, is I don't think modern is better than vintage, and I don't think vintage is better than modern. It just depends on your client base and whoever's purchasing it from you, and depends on your niche. If you want to focus mostly on modern, there's plenty of money to be made, or there's plenty of great collections to collect, or anything you want to do, because of all the new cards that are coming out pretty much on a daily, yearly, monthly, quarterly basis. Or if you want to just focus primarily on vintage, you know, that's not going anywhere, and they become rare because they don't print them anymore. So that's the kind of cool thing about that. Me, in my case, I'm going to try and get as close as 50-50 as possible, and possibly try to get my vintage up a little bit more, and see where that goes. I'm thinking, I think I've seen that in the last several months, that's kind of, maybe I want to go towards that. We'll reconvene. I'll let you guys know how I do. I'm going to push this side for maybe 3-4 months, and we'll see if this was a good move for me to push more vintage, or at least list more vintage and all that stuff, versus and Hall of Famers and GOATs. Remember, I got to combine those two together, and then versus too much of the modern stuff, because I feel like sometimes it's up and down. I have great days, bad days in regards to sales with the modern sports card world. At least that's how I feel, and that's from my experience. However, the days where it's up, it's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it's great to see some of the slabs or some of the cars that, you know, that I sell, and all of a sudden, you know, they're super modern. Excited. You know, it's higher value, sometimes higher money, I feel like, in some days. So other than that, man, that's just my thoughts in regards to modern versus vintage and Hall of Famers, GOATs, all that stuff. Let me know what you guys think. I know people have probably their thoughts and ideas on this, so I'm just kind of curious what your guys' thoughts are on that. If you guys watched this far, appreciate it. Don't forget, if you guys like this stuff, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, helps me out. Don't forget, check out the store. You guys can see my store. Go check out the eBay store. I put in the link. Check out the eBay store and see if there's any vintage stuff you guys want for cheap, or even modern stuff. So it helps me out. Other than that, if you don't like this stuff, I guess, you know, like I said, previous videos, I always want to say thank you for spending the time to watch this video. So till next time, guys.